Good morning, kids. We are going to begin our class with checking the homework. And this time, the homework is something very special for me and for you, I think, because it is taking speaking examination. Well, it gets nervous. Many students get nervous when they have to speak. Not you, of course, because you are exceptional students, but regular students can get nervous, and I understand why. Whenever you have to perform in front of other people, it always conveys a large amount of stress and nerves, logically. But this is the only way of preparing for the real exam, because you know that one day you have to speak in front of British teachers, and the only way of overcoming that terrific moment is speaking in front of anyone, because in the end, friends, everybody, when a person is studying English or French or any language, you have to speak. Studying English because you want to learn the grammar is something stupid. When you study English or any other foreign language, it's because you want to use it, either in writing or speaking, or the perfect both ways. Today, the challenge is to speak about the pictures you have on page 145, 146, and 147. The idea is that you choose one of these sets of pictures and speak about it. That is the challenge. So let's see, because I have to control the time, but you can select the pictures you prefer. No problem with that. Let's go to the book. These are the pictures on page 147. The question is, which place is better for all people to live? But in the previous page, page 146, you had two different pictures. An old couple on a beach, uh, spending their holidays there, and a man on a winter resort in a very cold place. And then on page 145, two different families. One family living in the countryside, and the other family living in the city center. I think, let me see if this is possible. Give me a chance. I think it would be great to listen to someone taking this examination, because it can illustrate all the indications that I spoke about in the previous class. Listen to these kids. Give me a chance, a second. Observe that these people are going to talk about the pictures you have on page 145. So please go to page 145 and listen to this example. Friends, this exam is not for you to speak about anything. There is a plan. There are things that you have to remember. Observe how this boy is making a contrast between the two families using the connector while. This is important because this is going to give that student a mark, a complete extra mark. Listen again, please. So observe the use of must, because must is another way of speculating. The boy is speculating because the boy knows that when you speculate in this part of the exam, they are going to give you 0.5 extra mark. He doesn't say that they are happy, but they must be happy, or things like that, using the modal verb must. Wait a second. And now he's going to make a contrast. You see? A contrast between living in the city and living in the country. And now he's answering the question, what is it like for people to live in each of these places? He's describing the advantages and maybe disadvantages of living in the countryside, picture one, city center, picture two. He's answering the question because he knows that he doesn't have much time. And this is the second part. When the student finishes describing his picture or her picture, then the teacher is going to ask the other person a question related to the picture the other student has already described. So if you take the exam and the teacher selects the other student to begin the description of pictures, you be attentive. Be attentive, because when that other student finishes, the teacher is going to ask you something regarding the pictures of the other students. So please don't get entertained during this part of the exam, because you will receive a question. It's a very simple question, and you won't have to speak too much. No, it's very short. The teacher is going to interrupt you immediately, but you have to be prepared for that. Well, this is going to be your exam. This is the format. This is the way. Always the same, right? Let's see the pictures that you chose. I don't know if your pictures are the pictures on page 145 or 46 or 47. I would like to begin with Alex. Alex, can you begin the exam, my friend?
Yes, yes.
Very good. Let me control the time. Give me a second. I need you to get close to the microphone and try to speak clearly.
Okay.
Remember, you have only 1 minute, right? What are your pictures, Alex?
My pictures are the ones on page 145.
45. Ah, perfect. Perfect. Very good. Alex. 1, 2, 3.
Both photos shows two families living in their house, and they seem all very happy because of where they live. The first photo shows a family in the countryside with their own orchard and living more healthy because there is less pollution and less noise than in the city. While in the second photo shows a family living in their own flat, probably in the city center, with all the shopping centers near. And all the entertainment too. I think the first photo shows a more relaxed life and less care of the money, while in the second photo they will need some money to live and buy things in the city center because there is more expensive things there.
Okay, maybe it was too short, Alex. Maybe it was too short. What is my advice? Because the rest was okay, you know. You were able to find similarities. You use both pictures, so you have that mark. You were able to find differences, so you contrasted the differences. You speculated, very good. There are some grammatical mistakes. For example, more healthy. The comparative of healthy is healthier.
Yeah.
Yes, but these are logical mistakes, you know. You have so many extra marks that these little mistakes are not significant in your exam. But the time is important, Alex. Please, in your real exam, don't stop, right? Invent something and continue speaking using your imagination. You can speak about your favorite case, that you prefer one or the other, just for the sake of speaking, you know, just for continuous speaking, because if not, you receive a serious penalty for stopping before the time. Do you understand, Alex?
Yeah.
But it was a very good exam, right? But the idea of these courses that we are taking here is exactly for that, for the teacher giving you advice in order to avoid making mistakes, little mistakes, in the real exam. It was a good exam anyway. I like it a lot. You did everything I advised you last class. Thank you for that. Let's see now, Anna. Is that, no, it's not Anna, it's Ainoa, sorry. Ainoa. Ainoa, can you help me with your pictures?
Hi, Jerry. Morning.
Good morning, friend. What are your pictures?
Yes, I have two pictures on page 145 too.
Ah, excellent. Very good. So, Ainoa, you have 1 minute. Right?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
These two pictures show two different places to live, and in both of the pictures we can see a family. In the photo on the top, there is a family that seems to be living in a farm close to a natural environment, while in the picture on the bottom there is a family in a flat which seems to be in a block with several stories. In this case, there is an urban landscape with skyscrapers behind them. I think living in a farm could be less stressful than living in a city. So I believe that the family in the picture on the top could have a quiet life, and it is a good place for their kids because they could develop some skills like taking care of the nature or the animals. On the other hand, the family in the photo on the bottom, maybe they have a greater offer about cultural or leisure activities, for example. But finally, in my opinion, both.
Very good. Very good, Ainhoa. This is an excellent exam. My God, I hope you do something similar in your exams. It's not very possible because here you have time to prepare it. In the real exam, everything Ainhoa is pure surprise.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, but the idea of doing this sacrifice today is that you get the idea of how to do it. Ainhoa, you did it very well because you were able to find similarities. You used the famous both pictures. You speculated many times. You found differences and you made contrasts between one situation and the other situation, and you did it excellently. Not good, excellently. The vocabulary was adequate and there were no grammatical mistakes. So imagine, Ainhoa, that if this is a real exam, you pass it, but not only pass it, you pass it with excellent marks. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's go with Celia now. Hi, Celia. How are you? Are you nervous, Celia?
Hi.
Are you nervous?
A little.
Well, I can't hear you very well, Celia. I don't know why.
What?
No, it's very low. I hear you very low, like if you were very distant from the microphone.
I don't know why.
I hear you now better. Yes.
Okay.
The first question is, which are your pictures?
In the page 145. The same.
Same, the same. Very good. Give me a second to prepare this. Okay, I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
We can connect the two pictures because we can see a happy family in an environment, but the real difference are that in the first picture we can see a big family in a natural environment, and in the other picture we can see a small family in probably in a city, in the city center. In the first picture, the family probably enjoy the nature and the healthy food, and they can appreciate the relaxed time in that environment. And in the other picture, we can see a small family that probably appreciate the social eso.
The social what?
Es que he puesto yo también el cronómetro. Pues eso.
Okay. Well, Celia, this exam is not as good as I know, as you know, because there are some pronunciation problems, Celia. So we have to work on pronunciation before your exam. When is your exam? You told me last class.
I think I could do in
September.
In September.
Yes. And you told me that you would study during August.
Yeah.
Because you are not having holidays, Celia. I mean, Aren't you go anywhere?
Probably at the weekends in July, but in August I'll be at home.
Yes, in Getafe.
No, in Torrejón de la Calzada.
Ah,
In-
I thought that you lived in Getafe, Celia.
No. I
In
live in
Torrejón.
a very small village.
Yes, I know Torrejón. And when you have classes, Celia, you always move to Getafe and take the classes and go back to Torrejón.
Yes.
My God, is there a bus or something or train?
Yes, I have to go on the bus on the bus to Parla, and then I had the train.
Oh my God, Celia, thank you, friend. Thank you for taking our academy and not any other. Well, Celia, I have to be honest. The result of this
It was
exam,
horrible,
yes,
but I know.
yes, the pronunciation.
I feel so nervous because my classmates are so good.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, when the classmates are excellent, one feels a little bit nervous because we think, my God, I am not at that level. Yes, but it doesn't matter because you pass the same, right? The
Yeah.
idea is, I know, Celia, to get the certificate. That's the idea. Because when you have your certificate, nobody is going to ask you, and how many marks? Nobody cares. You have the certificate.
Yeah.
Very good. But anyway, you were able to find similarities, you were able to find differences, and and what else? And you always speculated a little bit. Thank you for the effort, Celia. But remember, we have to study during August, right?
Yeah.
Good,
Yes.
good, very good. Thank you, kids. Thank you, because I know how difficult it is for you, how stressful this situation can be. That's why I appreciate all the effort that you put behind this performance. Well, today we have to continue with our book. My intention, is to finish the book before the end of July, because I need to take the final mock tests uh, before we take holidays, vacation. These tests are important, principally in this case, principally for Celia, because she's taking the examination, the real examination, in September, and I want her to be really, really well prepared. I don't know if Ainhoa or if Alex are planning to take the examinations from Cambridge in September or in July. Are you planning to take your exams, friends?
Hi,
Yes.
it's Ainhoa.
Yes.
Finally, I'm going to take my exam on July 50, I think.
Oh my God, this month.
Yes, I'm really nervous, but I want to try it.
Very good. A question, Ainhoa.
Yes,
Have you taken any of my mock tests?
yes, I took, I think, four tests.
And have you passed any?
Yes, four.
Very good. 4. You are prepared, Ainhoa. No more commentaries. You are
Well,
very well prepared.
I'm going to try it.
Yet anyway, Ainhoa, don't be careless. Don't be careless, right? Study, please.
Yes, I know.
Good. Thank you very much. And what about you, Alex?
I'm probably taking the exam in September too.
Very good. So you are going to study in August.
Yeah.
That worries me a lot, Alex, because you are a boy, and boys are crazy.
No, me not. I take studies very seriously.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Because if not, all this effort, friends, because you have been with me going to, I think of Celia, going to Getafe to the academy, studying, taking the classes, doing homeworks, taking examinations, and then the last minute you don't study, and then you don't feel prepared for the examination. So please study during August. I don't know what I'm going to do during August, I would like to stay here in Spain, but the problem I have is my family, because my sister lives in San Antonio and she's asking me, begging me to go there and stay some days with her. I haven't seen her for 2 years. And then my uncles and my aunts live in some in Miami, some in New Jersey, and they are begging me to go there. My father-in-law, my wife's father, lives in Cuba. Imagine that. And he's 86 years old. Can you imagine? And he's begging us to visit him. So we don't know what we are going to do. But I promise that in August, if you are studying and you have any question and you send me a message, and I am here in Madrid, because if I am in other country, it is a problem with communication, you know, it's very expensive. But if I am here in Madrid, I promise that I will answer you and help you with your studies. So Alex, Celia, I know if you, and yes, if you have any problem, tell me, right? Thank you, thank you. Yes, my pleasure, Celia. You know, because you are my helping hand. Well, friends, let's go to page what? Page number nothing. Because before the book, I want to show you a PowerPoint I prepared for you. Let me show you this. My pleasure, I know, of course. You can imagine how happy I am when you pass your exams, right? If I were if I were an engineer, for example, when you pass, it's like when I finish a bridge. Yes, imagine those people who builds bridges and buildings, and when they finish, they see the building and say, my God, this is my work. Well, my work is when you send me a little message saying, teacher, thank you, I passed the examination. This is the moment of glory for me. Well, friends, let's show you something, this one. The question is, can you see it? Because maybe I have this in the screen, but you can't see it. Can you see it? Very good, Alice. Thank you, I know. Thank you very much, friends. The idea is, friends, that we have to study how to express permission in English, and how to express obligation in English. Logically, I know, Alex, Celia, I know that you studied that years ago. I know that. But you know how memory is. We forget things. So I want you to remember these ideas, because it is the grammatical aspect, or one of the grammatical aspects in unit number 13. How do we express permission? Well, let's see. How do we express permission? It's like the magician. Yes. We express permission in English using these three modal verbs. They are modal verbs, you know. Can, could, or may. Think of that. When I ask for permission, can I? And when they give me permission, yes, you can. They are giving me permission. That observe the differences. Read this example. Can I sit here? There is a mistake here because we don't have the question mark. I need a question mark at the end of the question. I forgot that, sorry. Can I sit here? Well, this is the informal. You are asking for, preguntar, asking for, pedir. You are asking for permission, but in an informal way. You are speaking with your friends, your families, your relatives, you know, your classmates. So it's informal. Can I sit here? Yes, of course. You can sit here. This is giving permission. Can I sit here? Asking for permission. You can sit here giving permission in an informal situation. May is very similar, but it's more formal. More formal. You are speaking with older people, or you are speaking with superior people, or people you don't know. May I use this chair? This is more formal. Another form, another way of asking for permission. And when they give you the permission in formal situation, they use may. Yes, you may use this chair. So that's maybe the difference between can I sit here? Well, sit here is an example, right? There can be many other examples. Can I use the laptop a minute? Informal. May I use the laptop for a minute? More formal. Now, could is very polite. This is very polite for very well-educated people. Could I use this chair? Sure, you could use this chair. The person is giving permission, but also in a very polite way, because normally people answer you in the same way you ask for. I want you to concentrate on this. Can, may, and could are used for permission, asking for permission or giving permission, but they are a little bit different, a little bit, not too much, a little bit. But you are B2 level, you are first certificate in English, you need to know these differences. Can is in a very informal situation, may is more formal, and could is, my friends, very, very polite. But they are similar, they are expressing permissions. In the questions, asking for, in affirmative, giving. There is another way of expressing permission which is more sophisticated. Be, between parentheses, am, is, are, was, were, be, allowed to. You are allowed to use dictionaries in the English exam. See, that is more sophisticated, is more, what? Is more polite and more formal. Because in normal situation, the teacher can say, you can use, but this allowed to is very elegant, very polite, analyze it. What is the translation? Se les permite utilizar, observe that, se les permite utilizar diccionarios en el examen de inglés. This is very polite in Spanish, and this is very polite in English. My advice is, come on, friends, use these expressions to practice, right? For example, when Ainhoa or Celia are talking to their boyfriends, which is a very polite, formal situation, Ainhoa and Celia can tell their boyfriends, boyfriend, you are allowed to kiss me. And the boyfriend is going to be surprised, say, oh, how polite my girlfriend is, how elegant, right? And then the boyfriend is going to kiss you not once, but twice. Think about that. Think about that. You can use this, Alex, too. You can tell your girlfriend, hey, honey, you are allowed to kiss me, and you will see how happy your girlfriend is going to be. Let plus a verb in infinitive without to. Some people say simple form. Let someone, you have to mention who, let me, for example, let me, and now the verb in simple form. Let me leave the room. Permítame salir de la habitación. Let me leave the room. Observe, let me, let her, no, let she, no, let her, let us, no, we, let us, and now the verb in infinitive without to or in simple form, because there are two different ways of expressing this. Let's see an example. She let him borrow her bicycle to get to the station. She let him, le permitió, le dejó, permission, permission. And now we see obligation. This is not permission. These are obligations. For obligation, maybe you remember, we use must and have to. And my friends, when you study English in primary school or secondary school or high school, they give you these two modal verbs like if they were totally, completely, 100% similar. Well, they are very similar, to be honest. Yes, they are very similar, but there are some, how can I say it, slight differences between must and have to that you have to study today in your level of English B2. And this is the difference. Read it, please. When we use must, this usually means that the obligations come from the speaker. It's like a personal obligation, whereas have to normally means that the obligation is external. Look at the example. We are using must because I know that I need it. It's good for me. I know it. That's why they say that this is a personal obligation, must. In the second example, which is a very similar sentence, very similar, but now using have to, English people know that this is not a personal obligation. It's that you have to do it because someone is obliging you to do it. In this case, it's the doctor. Sometimes it's the boss. Sometimes it's your mother or father, right? A superior person. In this case, the doctor. It's not because I want to stop smoking. No, it's because I have to. See the difference between must and have to? Look at this. It's completely the same, friends. Have to, but we make contractions. Always know in informal situations, right? When you are speaking with friends, family, relatives, classmates, people you know, I've got to give up smoking. I've got to give up smoking. See that? It's an external obligation. There are other ways of expressing obligation, friends. The verb be in any form, am, is, are, was, were, plus supposed to, and then the verb in infinitive. Observe the example. Se supone que hagamos 5 tareas escritas o 5 tareas de escritura. Se supone que. Y ahora hagamos para que se vea que estamos nosotros, no yo, nosotros. Dice we are. We are supposed to do 5 writing tasks each term, cada periodo, each term. But most people only do 2 or 3. Aren't you supposed to be, no se supone que tú, aren't you supposed to be in class right now? I'm not out here playing football, boy. So, be supposed to, an infinitive expresses obligation. Sometimes people use should plus infinitive, but without to, simple form of the verb, to express obligation. Observe the example. You should answer using your ideas, not things you have memorized beforehand. It's an obligation. Deberías responder usando tus propias ideas, no cosas que memorizaste de antemano. Good. I don't know if you took down notes or not, Celia. So be supposed to and should are quite similar. Yes, Celia, quite similar indeed. Very good. Well, friends, and now what? Well, we have to practice this, because if we don't practice, we forget. On page 147, is that correct? Yes, 147, everybody. 147, let me see the book. Here. Grammar, expressing obligation and permission, exercise 2. Exercise 2, everybody concentrate on exercise 2. Look at these sentences and then answer the questions below. And then you have questions with letters, A, B, C, D, E, F. Well, they are not questions, right? They are sentences. And then you have questions 1 and 2. Let's see, for example, question number 1. Which phrases in italics have a similar meaning to I must? And then you copy letter B, have to. Must and have to. Remember, these are two ways of expressing obligation. That they are different, but they express obligation. Continue with the rest, friends. When you match the questions with the sentences and you finish, send me a message for me to check your answers and be sure that you understood. Celia, finished? And Alex? I know I'm finished. And Alba, very good. Well, everybody finished. You know that in question number 1, which phrases in italic have a similar meaning to A, I must, you know that is I have to. I have to in letter B. And in B, I'm not allowed to. What are the possible similar meanings? Nothing?
Sorry, Jerry, can you repeat the question, please?
The question is in number 1, letter B, I'm not allowed to. Did you find something similar in the sentences with letters? A for Celia is letter C. I can't. Yes, I'm not allowed to. I can't. C and F. F. They won't let me. Yes, very good. Yes, C and F, Alba. C and F, Alex. Yes, I know C and F. Excellent. Yes, I can't. They won't let me. These two expressions, I can't, they won't let me, are similar to I'm not allowed to. Very good. Now let us see. I'm not allowed to. Well, this is stupid. Yes or no? A and yes, very good. For Alba is A and E. For Ainhoa A and E. For Alex A and E. And for Celia is A and E. Excellent. Yes. Now, number 2, which phrase A or B has a similar meaning to I'm supposed to do in letter D? A or B? What do you think in number 2? Well, for Celia is B, for Ainhoa is B, for Alba is B, and for Alex is letter B. Yes, very good. Very good. Now what? Let's do exercise number 3. It says, listen. And for, well, no, this is not interesting for me now, friends. I have to do the elements that are very, very important for you. Let's see where. In the workbook, page 52, in the workbook, grammar, exercise number 2, expressing obligation and permission. Let me show you this. Page 52. Expressing obligation and permission. Exercise 2, circle the correct words in each sentence. Number 1 is the example. Yes, so please continue with the rest of the sentences, and when you finish, send me a message. Alba finished. Alex finished. Celia finished. Ainhoa finished. Very good. Well, let's check this. In number 2, I needn't have bought, or I didn't need to buy a washing machine for my new apartment. I'll have to sell it on eBay. Well, in this, well, I'm sorry, friends, don't write it down. It's too long. I don't want to lose all your energy typing and typing, right? So I'm sorry. I'm going to give you the answer, and then you check and contrast it with your answers to check if it is correct or not. In number 2, the correct one is I needn't have bought. I needn't have bought. No necesité haber comprado. Lo hice y no fue necesario. I needn't have bought. In number 3, my parents weren't allowed to have, or wouldn't let me have a TV in my bedroom. My parents wouldn't let me have a TV in my bedroom, which meant I used to read a lot. In number 4, the correct answer is don't have to. You don't have to carry that heavy box up the stairs. There is a lift over there. In number 5 is can't. We can't play loud music after 11 p.m. or the neighbors will complain. In number 6 is shouldn't have. You shouldn't have left the door unlocked. Go back and lock it. In number 7, were supposed to. The builders were supposed to finish work, blah, blah, blah. In number 8, don't let the children have to climb that tree. It's not safe. In number 9 is must. You must turn the gas fire off before you go to bed, or there could be a fire. Now, in number 10, my mom says, we are allowed to have the party at our house if we promise to clear up, recoger, if we promise to clear up afterwards. You see, friends, that sometimes we study the rules of a grammatical aspect, and in the practical form, it gets more complicated sometimes, right? So when we use these modal verbs that I taught you in the PowerPoint, we were analyzing these modal verbs in present. But when the topic is in past, we have to use, after the modal verb, we have to use present perfect, something that we study in other occasions and not today. I forgot giving you examples of simple past, like the case of number 6, shouldn't have left, see that? Or in case of number 2, needn't have bought, etc. Well, and now what? Now I want you to go to page 160 in the student's book. No, sorry, 160. 160 students book, because we have exercise 6. 60, no, sorry, it's 104, because we have different books. Excuse my confusion. We have different books. In your book is page 148. 148, I'm sorry, friends. Sometimes I forget that we have different books. On page 148, you have a beautiful exercise. Well, beautiful because it is pretty. No, beautiful because it's similar to the exams. No more than that. It's not beautiful, indeed. Exercise 6, page 148. Let me go to the student's book, not this one. This exercise that you have here. Exercise 6. Complete the second sentence so that it has a similar meaning to the first sentence using the word given. Don't change the word given. Remember that in the exams, you must use between 2 minimum and 5 maximum words. Well, that's it. In this exercise, you have to use, the modal verbs that we use to express permission or obligation, and the different forms of using of expressing permission and obligation. When you finish, send me a message. Alba, finished? Alex, finished? Celia, finished? And I know I'm finished. Okay, very good. So it says here, the first one. The original sentence is, you can go to the club, Steve's father told him. And now you have to write something very, very similar, but using allow. They give you the beginning. Steve's father did. They give you the end, to go to the club. You see how many limitations we have in the exams? Because they give us the beginning and they give us the end, and then I have to use, or we have to use the word that they give us, and I have a limit of words, minimum 2, maximum 5. My God, it's terrible. What did you copy in the blank, please? What did you write in the blanks? Not allow him, Alex. And for Alba, not allow him, Alba. Not allow him, Celia. And not allow Steve. I know, very good, very good. All the answers are correct. Steve's father didn't allow him or didn't allow Steve to go to the club. Excellent. Now let's go to number 2. Let me tell you something. Cambridge divides your answer into 2 segments, and they give 1 mark to every single segment. In this case, they give you 1 mark for not allow. 1 mark. So evaluate your work. And Steve or him, the 2nd mark. I tell you this because I want you to self-evaluate your work. The idea is that when you finish, you have an idea if you pass or not this exercise, right? So not allow, 1 mark, him or Steve, the 2nd mark. Number 2, when you do the exam, it's not necessary to copy out the question, right? And you have to use have. They give you the beginning, they give you the end. Copy out the question when you do the exam. What did you write in the space in blank, friends? Don't have to, I know, don't have to, Alba, don't have to, Celia and Alex. Don't have to, excellent. Don't have to is correct. You don't have to copy out. And how does Cambridge evaluate? They say, if the student writes, don't, give 1 mark, have to, the 2nd mark. So evaluate your work in secret, don't tell anybody. Number 3, I shouldn't wear shoes inside the house. This is the initial sentence. And now you have to use supposed, imagine, and the beginning, I, the end, off my shoes before I enter the house. What did you write in the blanks? For Alex, I'm supposed to take. For Alba, I'm supposed to take. For Celia, I'm supposed to take. And for, I know, yes, I'm supposed to take. Yes, Alba, very good. Perfect. So the answer is, I am supposed, 1 mark, to take the 2nd mark, right? I'm supposed to take off my shoes before I enter the house. Evaluate your work, please. Now, number 4, you can't enter the room marked private, and you have to use allowed. And they give you the beginning, they give you the end, into the room marked private. What did you write in the blanks? Aren't allowed to go, Alice. Aren't allowed to enter, Alba. Aren't allowed to come, Ainhoa. And aren't allowed to get, Celia. Well, to go into. Yes, so Cambridge evaluates. If the student writes aren't allowed, give the student 1 mark. To go, the 2nd mark. If the student's answers aren't allowed alone, 2 marks. See that? Because with this expression aren't allowed, you don't need to use the verb to go. But if you select the verb is to go, not to come into, not to get into, is to go into the room. Go into, synonym of enter. So you aren't allowed to go into the room. Aren't allowed 1 mark. To go, the 2nd mark. If the student copies only aren't allowed into the room, that's correct too, 2 marks. Check it out. 5, Diane wouldn't lend, Celia, you are here. Well, Diane wouldn't lend Celia her car. And you have to use let. They give you the beginning, Diane refused. And they give you the end, her car. What do you write in the blanks? to let Celia borrow, Alex? Only Alex. To let Celia borrow, Celia. To let Celia, Alba. To let Celia, Ainhoa. Well, to let Celia 1 mark, borrow the second mark. If you don't have borrow, you have only 1 mark. Diane refused to let Celia 1 mark, borrow second mark her car. Evaluate this. 6 and final. We weren't allowed to use dictionaries during the exam. And you have to use let. They give you the beginning. They did. They give you the end. Dictionaries during the exams. What do you write in the blanks? Not let us use, Alex. Not let us use. Let us to use, Alba. Not let to use, Ainhoa. Well, friends, be careful, because the answer is they did not let 1 mark use, no, us use the second mark. Divide your answer and evaluate properly. I repeat, not let 1 mark, us use the second mark. Not to use, no, use. Remember that after let, we use the verb in infinitive without to. We use the verb in simple form. Let go, let eat, but not let to eat, let to go, no. Well, and now evaluate your works, friends, because they are 6. It means that they are 12 marks, 12, because every answer 2 marks. So they are 12 marks, and you need 7 correct, or 7 marks, I'm sorry, 7 marks to pass this imaginary evaluation. Do it, because in this way you are self-evaluating your works, which is so important for you. And for me too, because I am preparing you. Now let's go to page number 160 in your books. 160 in the student's book. Why? Because on page 160 we have the summary of everything we studied in unit number 13. So imagine we are about to finish unit 13. Vocabulary and Grammar Review, Unit 13, page 160. 160. Let me do something here. This one. Let's begin with part number 1, vocabulary. Circle the correct word in italics in these sentences. If you don't remember, you can go to Unit 13 and check out these topics, right? The vocabulary in Unit 13. They are 10 sentences. When you finish, please send me a message. Yes, only number one, because I want to check it before passing to number two. Alba finished. Celia finished. I know I finished. Well, number one. And I know I finished. And who else? And Alex. And Alex finished. Well, listen to me, friends. You can leave your car in the parking space. Parking space. Check it out. In number two, bring your family to stay with us. We've got plenty of room. Plenty of room. In number three, he loves traveling. And the first thing he does when he arrives in a new place is take a photo. Place. Four, the university campus is in an excellent location, surrounded by blah, blah, blah. Five, the schools are excellent in this area. In this area. Six, there's an empty place at that table. In number seven, we may have to take two taxis because I don't think there's space in one for all of us. Eight, you can buy international newspapers at the newsagents in the main square. In number nine, I found the flight uncomfortable because there wasn't enough leg room. In number 10, she's got a good hiding place for the money she keeps in her bedroom. Right? Check this out. And let's go now to number two. It's a grammar exercise for question 1 to 8. Living in caves is the topic. Living in caves. Read the text and think of the word which best fits in each gap. Use only one word in each gap. So in every gap, only one word. Let's see if you can do it. Right? As soon as you finish, send me a message. Celia finished. Alba finished. And Alex finished too. My God, everybody finished. And also I know, excellent. Living in caves. Wherever people live, they need to protect themselves. And this is the example. 0 is always the example. From the weather. And ever, in number 1, what did you copy? Y desde entonces, ever since, Alba, ever since, Alex, Ainhoa, ever since, and Celia, ever since. Excellent. And ever since humans started to walk on the earth, they've lived in caves. To start with, they, in number 2, friends, made for Alex, for Alba is made, and for Ainhoa didn't, and who else? Celia. Okay, very good. The answer is made. Made. Alex is correct. Alba is correct. Made. To start with, they made use of natural caves, but they soon ran of these. Los agotaron, se acabaron. Out, Alex. Out, Alba. Out, Celia. Yes, very good. And Ainhoa out. Excellent. It then became simpler for them to create their own caves, to build shelters using other materials. What is the element missing here? Than Alba, than Alex, than Ainhoa, and Celia? No, it's done. Yes. Than to build shelters using other materials or techniques. On volcanic islands, for example, people found the rock was soft to dig into. Soft what? Enough for Alba, enough for Alex, enough for Celia, and I know enough. Excellent. And blank are places, in number 6, are places, there Alex, there Alba, there's Celia and Ainhoa, there, yes, there are places in the world where these artificial caves are still inhabited. Modern day caves have some unexpected advantages for anyone who has ever visited it. Ainhoa, 1 Alex, them Alba, them Celia, who has ever visited, well, it can be then or 1. The benefits are immediately apparent. They will have found that the cave is isolated from noise and has a generally pleasant temperature. It's not too hot in the summer, while it stays warm in the winter. Number 8 is more. What for Ainhoa? What for Alex? And what for Celia? And although for Alba? The answer is what? What is more? What is more? This is an expression. A modern cave is likely to contain blah, 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 blah. Well, friends, look at the time. I'm worried about the time because we are not going to be able to finish this exercise. Exercise number 3 is going to be part of the homework because I think we won't have time for doing this. Right? So the homework is going to be exercise 3, page 160. For question 1 to 6, complete the second sentences. You know, a typical exercise. This exercise 3, typical in your examinations. Okay, is that clear? So homework is exercise 3, page 160. I'm going to check it next class. Let me appreciate the effort you did at the beginning of this class with a speaking exam, because you are 3, but you 3 prepared it very well. And the reality is that you three passed the exam. Some with higher marks than others, but you three passed the examination. It implies that you prepared it seriously. Thank you very much, friends. See you next week. Have a beautiful weekend and study, right? Bye-bye.